You're gonna make a triangle stance with your kettlebell and your feet, just like you would do on a swing, and then you're just gonna take one foot slightly forward than the other. Okay, so my stance is gonna be just outside hip width. If this is hip width, just outside like any kettlebell swing, and then you're gonna bring one foot slightly forward to make your staggered stance, and then in this case, the opposite hand would hold the weight. So I like to line up my left toe with right heel, roughly. Left hand's gonna grab the weight. I'm gonna go into my hinge, tilt the bell, and then hike through, come out. You're gonna wait for the bell to come back between your legs to do the hinge, rather than waiting for it to be out here and then hinging way too soon. So just find that timing, just like you would do any swing, wait for it to come back to you, and then you catch, throw it back out. And then whatever fits forward, because it's a staggered stance, is the one that's gonna have the most leverage. So if the bell's in my left hand, you're gonna see how it naturally kind of turns me slightly into the right. So since the right one is the one I'm loading into, even though both feet have equal weight, that right foot arch has the leverage to push me back out. You'll see from the back view that if I'm holding the weight in my left hand, my right foot is forward, you're gonna see how that hip is the one that loads better. Okay, so that bell will naturally help you to turn into that leg that's a little more loaded, and then this foot arch has that leverage to push you back out to square. So let that happen. Whatever hip is the one that's forward, or rather whatever foot's forward and that hip is the one that's going up and back, let it happen. Same with the other side. Let your hips turn left and then come back out. Okay, that's the benefit of the staggered stance. It helps you just get some rotation where you don't necessarily have it. And then you're going to make sure that whenever you're doing a swing, just like a traditional swing, when you're up at the top of the rep, don't push your hips forward. Okay, you're not going to keep heel contact, you're not going to feel as much glutes. You're also not going to keep that trunk the same length as it was. So the top of your rep should be right here. Hips underneath shoulders, if not a little bit slightly behind. Okay, very rarely does someone have full hip extension that they can actually finish right here. So if that's the case, and you only have this much and your hip stays slightly behind, totally fine. Okay, just focus on keeping heel pressure, like front of the heel where the arch becomes the heel, that's where I like to coach. So focus on keeping that no matter what, and that'll keep your hips pretty honest with your trunk very long as you go through the exercise.